What's up everyone, thank you for tuning in. So this is going to be a continuation of the 3rd Gen Accord exterior part 1 video. This is technically part 2. I was going to talk about more about exterior stuff. I'm not going to focus mostly on exterior. I was going to make separate videos talking about JDM, EDM, as well as US parts that are super rare and available for our cars. But I figured it would take too much time and it'd be kind of silly if I can just do it all in one video. I'm just going to end up doing that. So that's what it's going to be. I don't know what the title of this video is going to be, so I'll figure it out when the time comes. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start off with JDM, or Japanese Domestic Market parts. So stuff for our cars. I got a list right here, so hopefully I don't miss any. And if I miss anything, which I know for sure I am going to miss some stuff in this video, if you guys watching, leave some stuff in the comments below that I miss, and get a conversation going, get some knowledge out there. Is what I make these videos for. So I'll make it started. So number 1 is going to be the tail lights. So for hatchbacks, I haven't really seen any JDM style headlights for the hatchbacks. For the coupes, there are tail lights. They actually have a badge on the bottom left hand, or sorry, bottom. Well, in Japan would be the passenger side tail light. Will actually have a badge that says Import Edition on it. So I'll be putting up pictures for all the stuff I'm talking about right now, so you guys can get a visual of what I'm talking about. So there's tail light versions of that JDM for the coupes. I'm pretty sure there are for sedans, but I couldn't really find any. Besides, there actually kind of is a JDM version for sedan models that I'll be talking here in a second. So that's up for tail lights. You'll get the Import Edition coupe tail lights. Next, we get for fog lights. So believe it or not, Honda actually did make fog lights for our cars, which are actually pretty freaking cool because, I mean, it's pretty easy if you guys really want fog lights for our cars. I mean, we already have the pre-cut out and stuff in our OEM bumpers for them to be able to mount some. And you guys can go all over eBay or wherever you guys choose to get your fog lights at, and you can mount them aftermarket, which is no problem because these are probably better, or sorry, whatever you get aftermarket now would probably be better than what you can get OEM quality. But if you want for that, that rare factor and even just functionality, because the cool thing about these fog lights are they actually have pop-up windows. Like, they're not pop-up fog lights. They don't just come out like the headlights do, because that'd be crazy if they did. But no, these are actually fixed fog lights that actually have flip-up covers on them, electronic flip-up covers, which is super cool. And I'm sure there's other vehicles from other mix of models out there that have something similar to it. I haven't seen it, but I can't, when it comes to something like that, that's the first thing I think of is our cars are kind of renowned for that if you have the JDM OEM fog lights. So there's that. Those are pretty cool. If you guys can ever find those, I would definitely score some just for at least just like rare factor or wow factor, just for, I don't know, the design, especially for just the pop-ups. It's just freaking cool. Anyway, moving on. So okay, so I'm actually gonna save this for last. So as I was saying, for the sedan rear tail light stuff, so I said I don't really know there is an actual like color difference or design. I mean, I'm pretty sure there is not a design difference in the sedan rear tail lights. Maybe some color, like different color, of the lenses they use in it. But what they do have that's different than ours that we never got in the US is something called the Vigor Garnish, VIGOR. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's how I'm gonna pronounce it. The Vigor Garnish. So pretty much for our cars, we all know for the sedans, well, actually, all the trims for our cars, where our license plate is that black piece right there on the trunk, the center trunk, and then you have the tail lights on the sides, obviously. So the Vigor Garnish is actually just like, think about it like one long light rear tail light. Like, it's non-functional, to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure there isn't a bulb housing in it. It just pretty much has that, it just follows the same red lens connecting to all the trims to the rest of the tail lights. So I'll get pictures up here so you guys can see it, but yeah, there's that. Pretty much that was a JDM feature. People in Thailand have that feature. I'm not too sure on this. I don't think it was a European feature. I don't think they were able to get those. I'm pretty sure it's strictly Japan and some other Asian places that got it. Maybe Middle East, but I really doubt it on that. So that's a really cool thing. Now the one thing, if you guys find them on eBay, because I mean they're pretty rare, but I mean you get lucky enough, sometimes you can find some on some other sources besides eBay. But if you get it, one thing to keep in mind is, to my knowledge, specifically for the sedans, because I'm pretty sure they only made this garnish for the sedans. Because of our license plate housing, if you look at it, if you get a chance to look at your license plate housing, you notice there's going to be a small little dip in the center of that black housing where a license plate goes onto. Okay, so the trunk design of that is just one straight line, because there obviously isn't going to be a license plate there. I'm pretty sure for the JDM stuff, they have their license plate traditionally on the rear bumper somewhere. I've never seen pictures of it, because even like Euro stuff, they'll even have just like the long license plate on the rear bumpers or however. So you're definitely, I'm not too sure if this is like a buy bolt-on kit. I mean, you might be able to do it, but still have that weird gap in the bottom that you might have to like correct. Or if you get lucky enough to buy the Vigor garnish as well as the trunk, the JDM trunk, to where it's just all one straight flat piece where it was meant for it, then you can go that route as well. Now, I'm not too sure what modifications you need to do to get the trunk to work, but I'm 99% sure the JDM trunk and the US trunks are pretty much all the same in regards to the sedan. Okay, moving on. Okay. All right, so kind of the last thing on the exterior stuff, the JDM wing. Now I couldn't really find any pictures of it on our cars already mounted on for specifically like sedans, but I'm pretty sure sedans, coupes, it'll all work. Hatchbacks, like the only trunk that's a little bit, well, no, not a little bit, is different than the coupe or sedan dimensions and stuff like that, as well as design. So I'm actually going to put up a picture of Richard. He did a cool little you got a small business that I was able to make replicas of the JDM duckbill wing for our cars, and he actually got it in carbon fiber, which I'm putting up pictures right now for you guys to see. So just giving you an idea what the JDM wing will look like. And as I said before in the previous video, you guys have the option of using my wing, the S13 coupe Rocket Bunny rep wing. That's probably the closest in spec for our trunks, at least in regards to a coupe that I have found and experienced with. As you can see with this one, it's not as big, but it's definitely like a perfect fit. And even the design, if you guys like the design of it as well, that's something to go off, to go for too, if you're not looking for something too crazy big or too flashy, and if that's what you're looking for. As far as gains from a duckbill, I don't really know too much about aero stuff to get in depth to know whether or not a duckbill wing has any pro or con effects on a front wheel drive vehicle, let alone how it does in a wind tunnel. So that's a whole topic on another date. So moving on from there, so I was gonna save this for last, but I figure since this is gonna be the last exterior piece I'm gonna be talking about, believe it or not, one of the cool, well-known aftermarket brands out there, Mugen or Mugen, however you guys pronounce it, I call it Mugen. They actually had a catalog parts list for our cars, ranging from, they had bumpers designed for our cars, they had really cool wings for our cars, rear bumpers, I believe, I'm showing you guys a catalog up here from everything they had for it, from even like headers and like suspension, coilovers, all that stuff. I believe it or not, this was all an option back in the day. So if you want to find like the holy grail of okay, I can't even talk right now. Try this again. The holy grail of rare aftermarket parts for our cars, finding a Mugen part, any part, and scoring it and getting it on, whether you like it or not, that's a huge score on your part. Okay, so now moving to the interior, still talking about Japanese stuff. There's the digital dash. Believe it or not, guys, if you think the S2000 was the only Honda that ever came with a digital dash, our cars came JDM with a digital dash. Now, it looks like something out of an old Atari arcade game thing. That's how I always think of when I look at it. But yeah, we actually had a digital dash. Believe it or not, it's pretty freaking cool. It almost has a somewhat similar design of like the S2000 dash. So who knows? Maybe somewhere down the road they picked that back up when they were designing it for the S2K. Who knows? I don't, But anyway, that's like a super rare part. And actually, now I'm talking about that. They're actually, I feel really bad that I can't remember the name of this company right now. Well, it's actually one guy that runs the company. I'll put in the link in the description below. He actually makes a piggyback harness to where a jumper harness, so to speak, to where you can actually throw in an S2000 digital cluster into our cars. Now, obviously, a couple things are going to have to be pre-done before that. I'm getting off topic, I know, but I might as well talk about it now I'm on subject. To throw in there, obviously OBD1, you're gonna have to change out the speed sensor from cable to a to a wire speed sensor, as amongst other stuff to be able to run a digital S2000 cluster. But that's an option. So I don't want to talk too much about that because I'm not too knowledgeable on it, but I know it's an option, and I still am kind of tripping out that our cars came with a digital dash at all. So another cool JDM option are rubber dash mats. Now, they did make dash covers for our cars that covers the entire dash, and they were US available at the time I checked. I mean, this is years ago. I don't know about it now if you guys be able to find any, but if you do, that's always an option that you don't have to worry about importing anything. But these rubber dash mats are pretty cool because they were actually made and cut out for those little divots or those little dips in our dash that you can actually insert them in, which is pretty neat. Whether you do it for looks or just, you know, protecting that one part of the dash from like getting cracked or whatever, or if you guys just actually want to throw like maybe your phone or something up there that you don't want to slip, like I don't know how well they work, but that's always an option if you guys ever come across those. Now I will say though, however, from what I heard last time, I mean, this is like a year plus ago from what I heard, there was a time when you could actually find these rubber dash mats, but unfortunately you could only find them for the right-hand drive, so for like, you know, pretty much the Japanese market or anybody that drives right-hand drive. So the way the dash is cut is different. So if you guys can find a left hand for that, then they do exist, but it'd be pretty hard to find them. So just keep that in mind when you're looking. If you guys want to buy right hand, you know, see if they work or whatever, then by all means go for it. And as far as JDM stuff, that's all I got for that. I said I'm sure I'm going to be missing a lot of stuff on this list. Some of you guys watching right now are going to be like, oh, you forgot about this. Put it in the comments below. Educate me, please. Educate everybody else as well in the comments. So yeah. So now moving on to EDM, or European domestic market, for you guys that want to know. So one key feature for the Euro market is the rear fog lights. Now basically they're just like little fog lights that are, you know, indented in the rear of the bumper. Now this is pretty much done for I'm pretty sure it's just part of their DOT or, you know, whatever like traffic laws they have over in Europe that require them. So I'm not really knowing too much reason on why those are needed, but that's definitely an option. That's, you know, whether it's an option or OEM thing that they rolled out which they actually needed on there is unknown to me, but that's just a pretty common thing to see. So I mean, if you guys want to go for that Euro look, you guys can definitely just get any sort of like, you know, side marker or, you know, fog light that's shown up in the picture right now, and you guys can make pretty much your own. You just drill in the rear of the bumper somewhere and then just throw it in there and just have it, you know, if you want to. As far, you know, as long as you comply with local laws, it shouldn't be an issue here in the US. Next thing, another cool identification of a very European style part or even just version of our cars are the fixed headlights. Yeah, believe it or not, our cars came with fixed headlights, just not in this country. So you'll see them in Europe. Some people have also seen them in New Zealand as well as Thailand. Now, to my knowledge, and I'll leave a link to the Wikipedia page for you guys to like do more of your research on the third generation Accord, because there's a lot of information portraying this. I said I'm not a super genius on this, even though for as long as I've had these cars and done stuff to them, I should be in regards to these cars. So I'll still leave it up for you guys. I'm sure you guys have found knowledge and stuff through other places besides Wikipedia and the internets. So, you know, as I said, fill in whatever the gaps that I'm missing in this video, please. I really do enjoy it, and I won't take any offense to it. So, to my knowledge, the four-door sedans were the only ones that ever came in Europe with fixed headlights, and in fact, they actually implemented that in the later year of '86. Now, they did have pop-up models in Europe. As far as the, you know, okay, here's another thing I'm not too sure of. I'm not sure if Europe got the hatchback. I know for sure they got the sedan and the coupe and the aero deck, which pretty much looks like a, the best way I describe an aero deck is kind of like a bigger version of a Honda Civic EF, or even the, I'm gonna probably mess this up, the ED, pretty much the third generation Civic. Yeah, which is, I've seen some pictures of that coming fixed headlight, but then there was also some documentation saying that it was a custom job. I mean, especially being in Europe, I'm pretty sure if there was a a pop-up and fixed light versions in there, I'm pretty sure people wanted either or. They could have just gone to the local pickup part or just bought some and just done their conversions, and I'm pretty sure the conversion of it really wouldn't be that hard. I'm sure it'd be like as much work. Okay, probably definitely more work than if you guys were gonna do, for example, like the 96, 98 Civic EK, EJ to the 99 2000. If you guys are familiar with that little thing, you know, the EK era, the first 2 years and the latter 2 years, even though they look kind of pretty much the same, but in order to do the conversion for that is like, you need a lot more work than you would ever think of. But I'm digressing, so I'm gonna get back to the fixed headlight. So there's that. I believe, I think I already said like New Zealand, Thailand already had it. And it pretty much just looks like, in the pictures you can see, it pretty much almost looks like a Civic EF chassis front end. And I'm gonna say this right now. Don't be like getting an EF or whatever and thinking you guys can use an EF front end and try to like make it work for this. I mean, if you guys want to, that's cool, but I guarantee you the dimensions and everything else is way off from the fixed headlight version of the 3rd generation Accord. So just keep that in mind if you guys really want to do a fixed headlight ordeal here in the US or anywhere else that never had the chance to get them. Just keep that in mind. Okay, that pretty much wraps it up. As I said, I'm sure I'm missing a lot of stuff. You guys let me know in the comments below if there's anything else I missed. Just shooting some stuff off the top of my head that I haven't really discussed, that I don't really know too much detail about. They're definitely for some interior stuff. There's the JDM cup holders, which if you guys know the area, the storage area, if you do have it, I know some of the trims didn't come with these, but the storage area below your radio and your cigarette lighter and your coin holder and all that stuff, you see the little slits. That's obviously for, well, it's not obviously, for some of you guys that don't know, they're traditionally was made to hold cassettes for obviously, you know, late 80s, everybody was still using cassettes. You replace that, you can actually have cup holders. That was a JDM option. And then also Honda had their own, I believe, I could be wrong on this, either there's a 5 or 8 band EQ equalizer for the OEM radio, was also available for our cars interior wise and electronic wise. There was also, I could be wrong on this, I heard somewhere about this, that this was a JDM thing. I'm not too sure if it was a JDM thing or if it was just like an SCI thing, but there was also the, our side view mirrors also had heater units in them that would pretty much like defrost them. So I'm not too sure if that was like a JDM thing or if it was just like an SCI or, you know, LXI thing, so I could be wrong on that. There's also these headlight covers, which basically, the way I can explain it is, so if you guys are looking at your pop-ups from up front, the actual black housing around your headlight, there's those 2 bolts right there. Unscrew those and you screw in this, like, it's not Lexan, or it's like, it kind of looks like Lexan. And it's just a clear cover that goes over your headlight. Goes over the headlight just to protect it from bugs, debris, whatever. And then there's like a little like various subtle design and with a Honda logo on it that was like made in shape with our headlight housing. It's pretty cool. They did make them for other vehicles to my knowledge, but it's pretty cool to know that they actually did make that for our chassis as well. And again, I'm not sure if that was just a strictly JDM option or availability just for the Japanese market. We may be able to get them here in the US, but it's super rare we've ever seen those things. And I'm sure if anybody who've ever had them, I'm sure the durability of those things didn't last from the 80s up until 2020. So if you find any in a good condition, just score just for like kind of a nostalgia thing if you guys can. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.